Shishi, sixth day of sixth Aliyah for Kisisa. Hashem is going to renew the covenant he forged with the Jewish people at Mount Sinai, which had been rendered null and void by the golden calf. Part of this covenant was God's promise to give the Jews the land of Israel, which was then occupied by the 7 Canaanite nations. God instructs them to celebrate the Jewish festivals. Yud. Hashem said, I am now going to form a covenant that I will perform wonders, distinctive wonders, which did not previously exist in the whole earth nor among all the nations. And all the nation will see that you are amongst him. Esmas Hashem kineruhu. All the way around, you'll see the act of Hashem, which I am performing, is tremendous. It's tremendous. Okay. They will see the act of Hashem. All the nations among you will see the awesome act that I'm performing with you. It's tremendous. It's I'm forming a covenant about this matter, that the Jewish people will be the one to hold the Shekhinah. By the way, we talked to the Shekhinah today. Just saying in Tanya, connection. I will make distinctions. Neflois means distinctions, like neflinu, meaning by these miracles you'll be distinguished among all the nations, showing that my divine presence does not rest in the same way among them. Yud Aleph, Shmar L'chas Asher Nechem Tavchayim. You yourself keep what I'm commanding you today. Hinani Gerish V'necha. I'm going to drive out from before you the Meiri, V'Aknani, the Knani, V'Achiti, V'Aprizi, V'Achivi, V'Yevusi. It's a Meiri. Sheishum V'Sheish Kan. There are only 6 nations mentioned here. The Girgashi, they actually didn't fight. They rose and they left because of Israel. They chose to flee.
Where did they go?
I don't know.
All right.
Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
That's the noise. No. That can't. I can only be outside in the hallway by the stairs. Okay. By the stairs, Rivka. Or close the door. No, by the stairs. Thank you.
Good job.
Continuing. Yud Gimel. Yud Beis. Hisham L'Lacha. Be careful. You do not sign a treaty. Don't sign a treaty. Be careful. You don't sign a treaty with inhabitants of the land. Ashata B'Lecha. Which you're entering. So they don't become a hazard among you. There's no allowing the idolaters to live amongst you. Yud Gimel, and you shall ever shatter their altars, smash their idol statues, cut down their Asherah trees. Asherah is a tree that is worshipped as an idol. Yud Daled, you must not prostrate yourself to the God of another nation. For Hashem is zealous by name. El Kanu is a zealous God. Rashi, Kana Shmai, Mekana Leparav Enim Mevater. He is zealous to punish sinners, idol worshippers, and not forgo sin. Vizel Koloshin Kina. This is what Kina means in most contexts. He basically holds upon his Hashem. I can't make noise here. He insists upon his superiority. He insists upon his superiority and exacts retribution from his enemies. Tesvav. Be careful you do not sign a treaty with inhabitants of the land. For they will stray after their gods, and they'll sacrifice to their gods. And one of them may invite you, and you will eat of his sacrifice. Okay. Rashi, you'll eat of his sacrifices. You may have thought eating is not a punishable offense. You're just eating. I, however, consider as though you're thereby consented to their idol worship. By doing so, you will come to take some of his daughters as wives for your sons.
Exactly.
A paraphrase of the words of the following verse. So it's saying the whole package, not just like, oh, make a treaty and don't bow down. Because you make a treaty, then you're going to eat, and then you're going to, the next thing, Tazayin. You'll then take some of his daughters as wives for your sons, Zon of Esav, and his daughters will stray after their gods, their deities. They will lead your sons astray after their gods. You must not make any cast metal idols for yourself. Yudches. As Chag HaMatzos Tishmar, the festival of Matzos, you shall keep Shivas Yom Techel Matzos Asher Tzvisicha Lamoed Chodesh Aviv. 7 days, usually matzos that I commanded you as a about which I've commanded you for a 7-day period at the time of the month of ripening, spring. For in spring you went out of Egypt. Rashi, Chodesh Aviv means Chodesh Abikar, the month of ripening. Shatum is Pakeres Bivusula, it starts ripening, the first grains ripen. Every male child which first opens the womb shall be for me, and any of your livestock that gives birth to a male, peter shar peseh, a male that first opens the womb, whether it be a cow or sheep, it will be God's as well.
Aviv, same thing. Aviv is the same thing as Nisan.
Yeah, I mean, Nisan's in the Aviv. I don't think it's, it's the same thing. Everyone that opens the first womb by human beings will be mine. All your livestock that gives birth to a male in the same first womb opening way, be it sheep or cow, that the male opens the womb. Peter, if you're wondering, means psicha. Means opening. Peter mayim reishes maldoin tov shal tizachar nikeva musval yiledes. So the reason it says she will male, because the mother cow is mailing, is giving birth to a male. Chaf. The male child that first opens the womb of a donkey, you shall redeem with a sheep. But if you do not redeem it, then you shall break its neck.
Why is a male called Zachar? I've never figured that out.
I don't know. Peter Chamar will, the male child that first opens the womb of a donkey, you redeem it for a sheep. But if you don't redeem it, then you have to break the neck of that donkey. You can't keep it yourself. Every firstborn of your children you shall redeem. You shall not appear before me empty-handed. Rashi. Peter Chamar, only donkeys are the only impure animals that you have to give the value of it to God. Tifta b'seh, you shall redeem with a sheep. You give a sheep to the kohen, and the kohen gets to keep it as regular chulin, mundane, ordinary, unsanctified sheep. It's not a holy cat. It's not a holy sheep. He can go, sell it to anybody. Petra chamar, and then the owner gets to keep the firstborn donkey to do work for him. Okay, make a big house of magnetile. Okay. Varafta, you shall break its neck with a chopping knife. Who lives in Mammon Kayan? The reason for this is because he caused the priest. So why do you have to you can't use it because you're not letting the Kayan get his sheep, so you can't keep your donkey. Kol b'char b'nechatifta, all the firstborns of your sons you shall redeem. How do you redeem it? With the 5 slayim, the 5 silver coins, the fixed redemption fee. As it says elsewhere, elsewhere you do it for 5 silver shekels. My face shall not be seen by you when you are empty-handed. The simple meaning of this verse is an independent statement, is not connected to the mitzvah, the first part of the verse about the Bechor. She'em mitzvahs Bechor riyas panim, because the mitzvah of a Bechor has nothing to do. It's okay, it's okay. Do you want to make another house, Rivka?
No, don't.
Okay. Okay, let's make a different one.
Wait, the one I can make it again.
A Bechor is nothing to do with seeing God, with appearing in the Holy Temple. Shh. Rather, it's a separate prohibition. And rather, this is a separate prohibition. When you go up to the temple, do not come empty-handed. You have to bring carbon oila. You have to bring extra oila offerings. Separate thing. The Medrash, though, says that this is a superfluous verse and therefore makes an analogy based on similar words. Teach us that the adornment that you give in a minute to the Eved Ivri, when you let him go, you give him some like farewell gifts.
What? The severance package.
Severance package is also 5 slayim's worth of every type that's mentioned in the verse there of sheep, grain, and wine. You only give him 5 slayim worth. I didn't know that. That's like kind of the acceptable severance package. If he's an exceptional servant, you give him more. But like that's 5 slayim. Basically, we have a problem. This verse says the ending has nothing to do with the Bechor. So what's the way is it here? So the Gemara says it's for Gzeira Shav. It's for an analogy because similar language is used by the send-off gift of the Eved Ivri, of the Hebrew slave. And the fact that you give the similar language here shows you that the 5 slayim applies there as well. The amount of 5 shekel worth, it says in Dvarim, you give him some grain, you give him some wine, you give him a sheep. How much? Now you know. This amount here, that's the connection to this verse. That's why it's a superfluous verse to teach us the Gzeira Shava of the amount of those category gifts you give. Make sense?
It's not each, it's total.
It says each.
Oh, so 5.
Oh, maybe total.
I don't know. I'm asking.
Total. You're right. No, each. It says like each. Each. Okay, Chafalev. 6 Yom Tava, in 6 days you shall work. V'yim Hashvi Tishbais, and 7 days you shall rest. B'char Shavakot Tishbais, you shall refrain from plowing and reaping. Rashi, refrain from plowing and reaping. Why does it single out plowing and reaping? There's other 37 things you can't do. A rabbi, some say that we're talking here refers to the prohibition of plowing in the year before the 7th sabbatical year. That's what, and the prohibition of reaping 7th year produce in the year after the 7th year. This teaches you that one has to add a period of the 6th year of non-sanctified time to the holy period itself. And this is the meaning where it says 6 days you may work, and the 7th day you must rest from your work. And that which I permitted you to work for 6 days, there's going to be a year when plowing and reaping are forbidden. It's unnecessary for the Torah to state this prohibition regarding plowing and reaping in the 7th year itself, because we said already you can't plow in the 7th year. So basically, other rabbis say that the verse is indeed referring to Shabbos. And the reason why plowing and reaping are mentioned specifically is to tell you that just as plowing is always an option action, so too reaping that is forbidden is only when it is optional.
It seems to come from out of nowhere, though. That's what I'm looking. I don't see a context for it.
This excludes, so basically, the question is, why does the Torah repeat and sing aloud, you can't plow and you can't reap? We know that already. We know that elsewhere. So why are we saying it, like why are you singing that too? So one answer is not talking about Shabbos, talking about the Shemitah year. You have to, a little before Shemitah, you have to stop working the plow and the reaping. The plow, you have to and you can't reap the leftover Shemitah stuff in the 8th year. That's one. Another explanation is to tell you that the only type of Shabbos malacha activities that are forbidden is optional, farmer stuff. But when it's sanctified obligations, such as reaping the carbon omer, right? Let's say Shabbos, the second day of Pesach falls on Shabbos, they actually would go cut barley on Shabbos to go offer the omer barley offering. That supersedes Shabbos. So it's say It's saying here the type of plowing is mundane plowing, but if it's holy plowing or reaping, you could do it.
Whoa.
Chag Bez. Chag Shavuos Tasla. You shall observe the festival of weeks for yourself. Bikuri Ketzir Chitim, when you offer the first fruits of the wheat offering, the wheat harvest. The Chag Asiv, the holiday of gathering, Sukkot Tikufas Hashanah, at the beginning of the year cycle. Rashi. Bikure Ketzir Chitim, the first fruits of the wheat harvest. The festival of weeks is when you bring the offering of 2 loaves from the first harvest of the wheat. The first fruits, Bikurim means first fruits. That is referring, in this case, to the first meal offering that comes from new wheat. Because barley came earlier, 58 days, about 48 days early on Pesach. That was some barley. But the first of wheat, basically, a new crop of wheat is kind of allowed to be used once Shavuot, after Shavuos. Or, no, I think, for Mincha. The wheat, so the use for Mincha is after the Shavuos. You could use any wheat. Any regular wheat you could use even before. It's not ripe yet, though. So colorful. Now make another design. Now make it so make a circle now. So take it apart and make another thing. Okay. Chag Asif is the festival of gathering. At the time when you gather your produce in the field into the house. The term Asif here means bring into the house. As you find, you shall then bring into your house. Chav Gimel, Shalish Pamashana, 3 times a year. Yirah calls the Chorchas Me'adai, Hashem Lekei Yisrael.
And that's Sukkot, right?
Uh-huh.
Festival in gathering.
3 times all of your men folk shall appear before the Lord, Hashem, the eternal, Hashem, God of Israel. Okay. Kufas Hashanah. Kufas Hashanah means that it is the festival at the turning point of the year, at the beginning of the coming year. Okay. Yeah. Kufas is a term denoting going around and around. It means a cyclical, the cycle of the year. So the Sukkot comes at the beginning of the cycle of the year, the seasons. Because the year in the Torah starts from Nisan, but the seasons start from Tishrei. Chav Dalet, Kol Zechorcha, all your men folk among you. Many mitzvahs in the Torah are said in one place and repeated elsewhere. Some written even 3 or 4 times. This is a very important Rashi. Why does it repeat itself? The Torah doesn't like to mince words. So as to make one who infringes them or repeats itself, it makes you liable for that amount of negative commandments pertaining to them, for each of the number of positive commandments pertaining to them. So you're like, oh, it's repeating it. So no, it's actually adding offenses to it each time it's repeated. Chav Daled. Yeah. For I will drive out nations from before you. And I will enlarge your territory. And no man will desire your land. When you go to appear before Hashem, your God, you're 3 times a year. Irish kitargumai. Irish means, English translates, I will drive out. Irish is driving out. So when I'll drive the nations, and you're not threatened by dangerous tribes, and you'll go up 3 times a year. And I'll enlarge your territory, meaning since you're then far from that chosen house, the temple, the Jerusalem temple, and unable to appear me at all times, I'll therefore fix you. I'll make 3 times a year for pilgrimage. In other words, Hashem's saying it's going to take time. It's going to take time till you settle, you conquer the land, and all that. And once it all happens, and there's a Jerusalem temple, then you're not allowed to make a backyard, barbecue altar. You got to come to. So therefore, what are you going to do? You have to make set 3 times a year. Chav. Hey. You must not slaughter my Paschal offering for its blood with leavened bread at your possession. You may not leave the sacrificial parts. You may not leave the sacrificial parts of the Paschal offering until the morning. You can't leave it over. You got to eat it up. Do not slaughter the Pesach offering when you still have chametz in your house. This is a warning to the slaughterer or the sprinkler of the blood on the altar, or any one of the people that are chipped in to buy the lamb to eat it. They can't go start the process of the Paschal offering, the slaughtering, all that until they get rid of their chametz.
I have a question about the kafdal, the word yachmod.
Yachmod.
Is that the same word that's
Desire
in the 10th commandment?
Yes.
Covenant.
Yes.
Okay.
Desirous. Yeah. Below Yavlin. Wow, maybe you can make another one. So make it different. Take the other ones. Make it different. Make a circle. Fine. Very good, Rivka. Okay. Below Yavlin, you must not leave anything overnight. As English translates it, lo yivisim l'tzavar bar mibad b'cha. You must not meaning it's not overnight when there's still stuff on the altar the whole night. So one's overnight over dawn. Okay, Zebach Hagapazah, the sacrifice, the Paschal offering. Its designated parts for burning on the altar. It is from here that you learn that the prohibition remaining overnight applies to every case of burning up fats or limbs on the altar. If you want to go upstairs, there's more. You can. There's the green ones. Okay. In general, this is we learn all throughout the year. You offer fats the whole night. And they can't have anything remaining after that. You shall bring the first ripening fruits. In 2 minutes, I'm done and I'll go. Okay? You shall bring the first ripening fruits of your land. Tavi based to the house of Hashem your God. To bring the first fruits. We have the second time. It says, don't cook a kid in his mother's milk. What are the first? What are the bikurim? The first of the 7 species of Israel that they're praised by: Eretz Chita, Tza'ira, Geffen, and Dvash. Dvash, dates. You don't bring every fruit. You don't bring apples. You bring the 7 species of Israel. They're the first fruits beginning by Shavuos. You must not cook a young animal in milk. This is the warning not to have milk and meat. 3 times the Torah says it: 1 for eating, 1 for benefit, and 1 for prohibiting benefit from it, and 1 prohibiting cooking it. Okay, I'm almost done.
You said cooking and benefit?
Eating. Gedi, call Vladrach. Every young child is called a Gedi. Even a cow is a. It doesn't mean a kid, a goat. It means a young, tender, baby animal of a cow, sheep, or goat. The fact that, how do you know this? Because elsewhere it says Gediism. This is a repeat of Rashi elsewhere, I think. Anyway, it says Gediism. It says kid of goats. So it implies a kid of itself is not of goats. It says goats. So Gedi can be other animals as well. It means it's basically nursing animals. It's mother's milk. This excludes the meat of a bird since it does not have mother's milk. The prohibition of mixing birds' meat with milk is not from the Torah, but an enactment of the Sofrim.